These people don't mind if I get loud, huh?
No, you're fine.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's that Home Theater Dude. Got a brand new episode for today. Actually really excited about today's episode. We're out here in Austin, Texas, Travis County. We're actually at the Screen Innovations Factory. We're going to be touring this thing. And if you guys want to go ahead and see what it's like to tour the factory, go ahead and stick around right after the intro. Screen Innovations, who are they? They started in 2003 in a Texas garage and have since grown into the leading authority on projector screens. Based in Austin, Texas, they keep it weird and dream up new concepts for home theaters. They make fixed frame screens as well as drop-down projector screens that hang from wall or ceiling, and even have some that stretch to conform to the changing aspect ratios. The biggest reason to go with SI screens are the screen materials. They make screens for anyone's space and needs. They also have amazing ambient light rejecting materials like black diamond, slate. They make white and gray screens for more light-controlled environments, as well as acoustically transparent and ultra-short throw screens. They have recently added shades to control the unwanted sunlight in your space, plus a dealer network to help order and install them. I've been really impressed with these guys, and I think you should too. Stick around as we tour their 75,000 square foot factory in Austin, Texas.
So the first thing you might see is the giant American flag up there, and we're very proud of that, 100%. One of our main goals as a company from the very beginning was to keep things made in America. So you're going to see some special machines that we've made, that we've actually engineered, designed, and built in-house just to keep it made in America so we can keep our costs down and not have to commoditize or resort to going overseas for production. As we walk along, you can see all of our products are a hands-on product, right? Patrick over here is assembling one of the cassettes. And this is all done by hand. These are real people here in America that we've hired that are incredibly skilled at what they do. And they pay attention to detail. If you talk to any of these people in here, they're going to tell you one thing, and that's that we care. That we just care. We want the product to be good. We want the customer to get a good product. And it's one of the most special things to me, really, to see a group of people that really care so much about what the customer's getting and what that experience is going to be like for them. So this is the new chop shop that you'll see over here, and this is currently in production. So they're currently building this out. 2 weeks ago, these walls were not here. At SI, from the very beginning, we've been really interested in the design of our product. So we realized that just having the best material on the world was not enough, right? Because if I have a black diamond and I put it in a 3.5-inch bezel, my wife would absolutely tell me, you can't put that in the living room, right? So what we first did was we launched a zero edge frame product, right? And that was kind of our first leap into the design world, saying, hey, look, this is gonna look great in your room, whether or not you have it on or have it off. And it's gonna be a product that you're proud of and fits into the design of your room. So design's always been one of the most important things for us. And taking that a step further, we created a line of products in our screen world and our shade world that have tons of color options available in them. So we've got, I think, about 18 different designer selected colors that customers can choose on the fly. And so what we've done is we've started and we've built our entire powder coating process in-house, including some innovation on even things like the guns that we use. We use rapid change guns that allow you to change the color in the powder coat in less than 5 minutes, whereas industry standard right now for powder coating is a few hours to go through and clean all the guns out, change the color so you can switch your production process. So the ability to do a quick change gun allows us to scale our production to an extremely high level without having to have multiple lines of powder coating. We have 2 powder coating facilities currently, and we have 1 oven, which is actually not even a powder coating oven. So Jason Reese went and found the most efficient oven in the world, bar none. And you can actually feel, as you walk up to this oven, it's 400 degrees inside this oven right now, but I can touch this door and I can hold my hand on it and it's barely warm, right? Which is really important in a production facility.
Just kidding.
Because we've got materials around here that react to temperature and they react to humidity, and even just the the standards for the employees walking around. I mean, if this was letting off 400 degrees of heat all the time,
the middle of the Austin summer,
right, that would be a terrible work environment. So what this does is it allows us to scale our production from just the design and color standpoint and be able to bake a lot of colors all at the same time. Coincidentally, this oven is also big enough for Jason Reese to fit one of his Broncos in. I don't know how that happened. He's a Bronco builder, so he loves building Broncos. He does them all the time. And it just so happens that this oven is big enough for him to fit one of his Broncos in. So this is cool. This is the master of powder coat, that guy in there. His ability in powder coat is unbelievable. All right, on to screen. So this is the new wing of the facility that we added. We added about 22,000 square feet, including office space over here for engineering and R&D. So first thing you probably notice is on this side we have a whole bunch of racks. So these are basically the equivalent of the test racks that we had on the shade side, built for screen. And again, custom designed in-house product. This was built so that we can raise these screens up all on the gantries that we have here and have power at the top for 220, 110 volt, be able to lower even our biggest screens that we have fully deployed and QC everything in-house. So as these screens are built on these tables and on the carousel that you'll see in a minute, they all go through the process and are assembled and every single screen ends up on this test rack and is closely looked at by several key individuals in the company that determine if that's going to pass or fail. And I'll tell you right now, we are very scrutinous about what screens we pass and fail here at SI. And like I said before, every single person on this crew simply cares. And they just want to be able to give the customer a product that's going to be a good experience for them and give them a lasting product that'll last a long time without any issues. Everybody cares about that. It's fantastic. So over here is our screen welder. So like we have on the shade side, we also have a screen welder. This one's made for our PVC materials. And again, this is an art. The ability to do this is something that's trained and learned, and it's more of an art than it is a science. So the people who work on the welder have to know how to operate all of the machinery in an efficient way to get a proper weld across the entire screen, because there are so many ways it can go wrong. When you're trying to weld two types of PVC together, it's not easy. And what these guys do blows my mind. And they're able to weld these things and make it almost invisible in that weld. It's really cool. So you can see the carousels operating over there on that side. They're getting ready to pull out a material for an order. And we have two carousels in-house for the screen side. And really, to meet the demand that we have right now for our product, we only need one.
Cutting a screen right here, huh?
Yep. So this is our reverse air hockey table. It's not turned on. But when this turns on, you'll see those wrinkles just flatten out completely. And what you'll notice here on this screen is that this masking right here is not painted. So this is actually printed. I'll show you our large scale Epson printer that we have. And the reason why we did that is because when you have a painted mask on your screen, you get a paint stack on the edges of the screen as it rolls up. And the last thing you want to do on PVC is have a different pull on the material, only on part of the material, because it produces wrinkles, and that PVC will stretch and it'll learn that stretch over time. So we do things like printing on this mask, which is, it's actually so thin, it's almost imperceptible to our tools, and it's imperceptible to human touch. You can't feel it, but you can see it. Another thing that you'll see here is that we actually cut out the tabs in our tab tensioning material into the material. So instead of adhering tabs or adding on tabs to the material, we actually cut them out. There's a couple reasons. Number one, I mentioned a paint stack before. And what you don't want to have is have a different thickness of added on tabs on the edges of the materials, because it produces repeating lines in the fabric or the material itself. The second reason is when you have a paint when you have a tab that's actually cut into the material, that means you've got a much stronger tab. What you see with tabs that are adhered to the surface is they actually tear over time, and they will, even the adhesive will start to fade a little bit over time, and so those tabs will start to fade out, and then your tab tensioning is really not doing its job at that point. So having the tabs cut in the material is one of those innovations we started a long time ago, and is really necessary with PVC to get that completely flat and perfectly uniform image to our customers that we really want.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was it a slate?
This is slate. This is slate 1.2. Going in a motorized screen. Looks like we've got 12 inches of drop up there at the top. All right. This is flex glass. I love this product. This is such a great product. This is one of our flex glasses that has just been cut on the Eastman table over here. And what's so special about this product is this is actually engineered and designed based on bulletproof glass. And what you see in the industry, this is more of a commercial product, but we still have a lot of residential guys that use it. What you see in the industry right now is, in order to get a really good rear projection product that's kind of rigid, it's basically a big old piece of glass that has to be sent out to a customer. And unfortunately, with glass, it's hard to ship, and it's also fragile, and it's very expensive. So what we did was we engineered and developed a product based on bulletproof glass that's also flexible, that you can roll into a core, and it's extremely durable. You can hit this product from any direction you can imagine. Ultra short throw, long throw, way off to the side, and you absolutely cannot see any hot spotting or find the lens in it at all. In fact, in some of the testing that I just did, because I was curious, I would put a really, really, really bright projector behind this material, right up close to the material, and I still could not see the lens. It was a perfectly uniform little square right there in the product. So absolutely one of my favorite products. Over here you can see the Eastman's going to be starting to work here. And what he's doing is he's laying out the material and getting it as flat as he possibly can before he starts this cutting process. That's the thing with PVC, is it reacts so much, like it's dry, like Mac was just saying. So they don't, you're saying, so when it's dry, it doesn't shrink as much. As fast. So all that goes into the calculation of everything.
It doesn't relax as fast.
Yeah, takes a while for those to settle out.
You still think this stuff's cool, man? I think it's cool.
Dude, I think it's unbelievable. There's an emergency button. Should I push it?
Action shot.
Yeah. Now you'll see as it's turning, it's cutting those tabs where it punched previously. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, these are rejects. Believe this is a reject
These
pile.
guys couldn't make the cut?
Yeah, these guys didn't make the cut. End of roll, so we don't ever take the end of the roll. You know, you'll find other issues here, like there might be a bubble in one of them or something along those lines, and so we immediately reject those out. Sometimes we pull them out. One thing you'll notice is that they've pulled out a long roll of material. So sometimes they pull out a long roll and they cut around inconsistencies if they can. Sometimes, you know, the whole roll might be a reject. But we've been really closely paying attention to all screen material ever since day one, and it's really important to us, again, like I was saying before, in our QC process to make sure that the material is right. And you'll see we even test each screen with a projector to make sure that that's all perfectly operating in perfect uniformity for our customers. So this area right here is the sewing and snapping area. Right now what they're doing is this looks like slate products for fixed screens. So they're attaching these snaps onto the slate products, and this is all done by hand again. So they're all identified by the computer, punched out on the table, and then attached by hand in the product. So moving on down, you'll notice that she's inspecting the miters of those corners, because even she's deburring it. So even with our really high tolerance saws, there's still burrs that can be there on the screen. And the last thing you want to have when you put a screen material on that screen is to see anything where those miters are. So she goes through and even pays attention and QCs every single little piece of material that comes through to make sure it's 100% good for the customer.
Yeah, because you can ruin a screen if it gets snagged on that
Totally
part.
can, yep. But it's attention to detail and those little things that really, you know, make your product a quality product that stands out from the rest. So as we move down to packaging. You know, that's a zero edge product frame right there. We've got some zero edge here. We're moving on to our assembly table. So as you know, we offer our screens in a pre-assembled configuration. This screen right here will ship 100% configured and pre-assembled. So when the customer gets it, they simply have to take the screen out of the box and hang it on the wall. And that's all that's required. Even the straps are 100% custom in-house designed to try to make this as seamless as possible. One thing that you'll notice
I like
on
the little
these,
logo on the straps. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. One thing you'll notice on these frames is how beefy they are. And here's an example. This is the back side of our frame, right? So we really care about even the way the back side of the frame looks. If you'll look at the detail that we have on how closely mitered those tolerances are that we've been talking about with the saws, it strikes me as truly amazing at how much attention to detail we have on our products like that. Now this is going to be covered up. You won't ever even see this. This frame right here actually goes over this material and snaps over it so that you have that front zero edge bezel. But the fact that we've taken so much time to make this look the way that it does, even though the customer will never see it, speaks volumes to the kind of attention to detail that we care about here. All right, so the screen comes off the carousel, the screen material's cut. The next station it goes to is attaching it to a tube, right? So on any motorized screen, it needs to be attached to a tube so it can roll up and down. And what they're doing here is starting that process after they've welded a pocket. They're starting that process, attaching it to a tube, QCing all the dimensions of the screen. So at every station, they're all measuring the screen to make sure it's the right dimensions, the right size, looking for imperfections, and making sure that the screen is 100% perfect. So they're attaching it to a tube, the motor goes in, and then it's gonna go to a cassette, either external or flush. If it's a solo screen, it's going into a cassette no matter what. And then the process continues. So they attach a weight bar into the screen, they start threading through the tab tensioning material, goes into a cassette, and then we'll go up on a test track after that. And then we've got packaging over here and logistics on this side. So here's today's screens that are going out. You can see it's quite a few.
Do you guys have a specific day that you ship them out?
No, we ship every day, multiple times a day.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So one of the first things on Shade is when we get an order in on our system, we want to be able to process that order efficiently and effectively without any mistakes. And so all of that's done online, digitally, in our ERP system. Whenever an order comes in, it goes directly to the stations that are involved, including the chop shop and powder coat, which we'll see in a minute, and to the carousel back there, which houses hundreds of in-stock materials. Why do we have them in stock? We have them in stock because if we have to special order materials, that adds to the production timeline for any Shade product. And our goal is simply to get shades out of the door as fast as humanly possible. So right now, we're on about a 2 to 3 week lead time in the industry, which is about the shortest time that you'll find anywhere on any shade production timeline. That can be processed. The computer pulls out the material that's required and automatically deciphers what the best cutting pattern is to reduce the amount of waste and also make it the most efficient cut as possible. So this is all computer controlled, and it'll cut out all of those, and then they move on to other stations from there. But this machine right here uses a stamp and basically holds the material down as it's cutting it, because we're just cutting basic shapes like squares and rectangles and things like that. Things that you wouldn't normally think of when you're thinking of producing a shade are what we call our test racks, are really industry leading because we're able to put an incredibly wide shade, the maximum width shade that we can produce, on one of our racks and raise it really, really, really high in the air. So that allows us to fully test every bit of the shade, even the large shades, on a motorized rack. Currently in the industry, what you'll see chain-driven systems that are really, they're more like, I guess more like garage doors. So what we wanted to do was take that up a notch and even put LEDs for testing the fenestration properties of the material itself as it's deployed. So we can really see exactly what the customer's getting and make sure that it's a quality product. We're here to create an experience for a customer, not only just their experience with SI, but a home theater experience and or any room in the house, and give them something that they've never seen before. That was our goal with day one. Black Diamond, the number one goal with Black Diamond was to give someone the home theater experience in any room in the house. And we've taken that to heart with all of our products. That's why design is so important. Because like I said, you don't necessarily want a traditional fixed frame in a room. You want a product like Solo that you can color to match your room, or Zero G that completely goes away and then levitates on Dyneema cords that are colored to match your room. Things like that are really important to us, and we just want to have customers who love the experience and love our product.
All right, guys, I guess that wraps up the factory tour over here at SI Screens. I think it was really cool to actually come to this factory and actually film this time. Last time I came here, I was not able to film, but I did get to go home with a really cool screen to show you guys the benefits of a Solo Pro 2 screen, especially with the slate screen material. But this time I'm going home with another screen, so really thanks a lot to Skylar for actually letting me tour the facilities. Thanks to SI Screens for actually allowing me to come here and film this time. I think it was a really cool time to actually be here in Austin. Now I have to drive all the way back to Dallas, and then that's for another story. But really appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me. I'm gonna go into this video here. Make sure you like, favorite, share, and subscribe. Catch you next time.
Good old Santa. Awesome.
Boop.
Sweet, man.
Easy peasy.